Hello. So in this video, I am going to explain how the arithmetic operations work. Let me start here an example program. So I'm going to edit the program just to explain to you. All right, so the arithmetic operations are additions, multiplications, subtractions, divisions, and a very useful one, which is the remainder operations called modulus. It gives you the remainder of a division. So I'm going to just explain how you can use them. Reading into numbers, 1 to R0, reading another one to R2, and then I'm going to say add R0 to R1, and then I'm going to write out R1. Okay, this is going to be my program just to test the addition. Here we go. I'm going to move the program into the program memory. There it is. So here's what the program is going to do. It's going to read a number from the input to the register 0. Then it's going to be another number from the input to register R1, and then it's going to add them. And when it adds them, it's going to put the result on the last register. So if I say add R0 to R1, the result will stay in R1. And that's going to print out. So let me step in here. Step. It's waiting for the input, so I'll give it to 150. Step again. It's waiting for another input. 151. As you can see, these two inputs that I entered are now in R0 and R1. And I'm going to add R0 to R1, and the result's going to be placed in R1. That's the meaning of the operations. The result always ends up on the second register. So if I step, as you can see, the sum has been placed in R1. And then I'm going to step again and write it out. All right, so this is the addition. Multiplication, subtraction is identical, just as the subtraction. So let me put here a subtraction operation. Again, same thing. Going to step in, read in, let me put this one number, step in again. I'm going to put like all the way down 51, enter. You can see that the numbers have been placed into the registers, and I'm going to subtract R0 from R1. Let's see what this is going to do. So this is subtract R0, subtract the value in R0 from the value in R1. So this is going to end up being a negative number, but this machine does not have negative numbers. So let's see what happens. If I step, it goes from 0. So in this machine, whenever you end up with a negative number, you end up with 0, because this machine does not represent negative numbers. So let's do the other way around. So let's run this program again. So I'm going to step on it, enter 51, and then I'm going to step on it again. Let's enter 151. Now I'm going to subtract R0, 51, from R1, and the result's going to be placed in R1. So there you go, 100. All right, now we have positive results, so it works. And then we'll write it out. All right, so that's the subtraction. Let's try out the multiplication. Multiplication. Okay, same thing. Read a number. Step again, read another number. Maybe 152. And then I'm going to multiply the two numbers and put the result in R1. Oh, I'm sorry, here. Step. There's the multiplication of the two numbers, and then we'll write it down. Okay, multiplication is pretty straightforward. Now let's go into division. Division is a little bit more interesting because you can run into problems. So let me put division. here an example of a division. Okay, so enter a number, enter another number, that's going to be the divisor. So I'm going to enter 2, right, enter, and then I'm going to divide R0 by R2, and the result's going to be, I'm sorry, R0 by R1, and the result's going to be in R1. There, 76, and then I write it out. Now, with divisions, I want you to be aware of something that you may run into, which is division by 0. So let me try again. Let's start again. I'm going to enter 2, and then I'm going to enter again. This time I'm going to enter 0. So division by 0 is undefined. It's in mathematics, you cannot divide any number by 0. In computers, you may have strange behaviors when you try to divide anything by a 0. So let's see what happens here. If I enter 0, and then I'm going to try to divide R0 by 0, which is what's in R1. Let's see what happens. Okay, I get an error over here saying that something has been trying to divide by 0, and the program becomes sort of malfunctioning. It just doesn't work anymore because it encountered an exception. And it's something that should not have happened. So if you try to run it, it just refuses to continue. So at this point, you need to reset and try other combinations of inputs so that you don't end up with dividing by 0. All right. So finally, let me explain the mod operation. Mod operation is the reminder. Okay, so let's read some number. 32, 33, enter. Read another number, for example, let's put it 4. Okay, so we're going to we're going to find the mod of our 33 over 4. So this is the reminder. Basically, it's the division. It's what remains after a division, an integer division of 33 by 4. Okay, so let's step into here. 33 by 4. The reminder is 1 because the closest number by 4 is 32, right? And then we had 33, so what's left from 32 to 33 is 1. That's the reminder operation, okay? And then you write it down. Okay, so those are the 5 arithmetic operations of this machine. I want also to talk about 2 additional operations that are not really arithmetic, but they are just generic operations for the registers. One is the copy operation, and the other is the set operation. Let me go over here and do the copy. So basically, if I just say copy R0 to R1, it's going to do what it says. It's going to copy the contents of R0 to R1. Let me just show you. Okay, so read the number or copy R0 to R1. In this case, it could be R0 to R2. It's just going to put the same number in R1 and then write it out. Okay. The other one is the set. Set operation is when you just want to set some value in there. For example, let me just give you a good example. Reading to R0, and then you just say set R1 to 4, for example, and then divide R0 by R1, and then write R1. So in this case, it will be when we already know that we want to do an operation with a constant, with some value that we know exactly what it is. So, 4 or whatever. So in that case, we just set the register to that value. Let's go here. So we're going to read one number, for example, 4, and then we're going to set R1 to 4. Sorry, here R1 to 4, and then we're going to divide. That's going to end up being just 1, right? And then we write it down. Okay, so the set operation just puts a constant in the register. All right, so these are the arithmetic and miscellaneous operations on registers. Watch the next video.